Live? No. There we go. We are live. And the mics are up. So hopefully...
It's not changed on the thing yet, but it'll just take a minute, doesn't it?
And the chat room will be
Still doing count.
The chat room will be our usual audio.
There it goes. Yeah.
Audio text.
Yeah, I've got all my devices have notified
Pinged.
me now.
Yeah. Same here. Very good. Well done, Carlos.
It's been nice today, even though it has been a bit chilly.
It's been very chilly, yeah. Oh, just 2 seconds. I've just got to let the dogs back in. Bear with.
Who let the dogs out?
No, in.
Oh,
Matt.
in? Matt. Oh, dear. We ordered some heating oil this week, Andy.
What was that, like £3,000 million?
650.
Compared to what was it before?
343. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. And we got a little bit discounted off that as well. It's crazy. Absolutely great. I'm just glad that we've got a wood burner. So glad. Don't know how long I'll stay like it, but my thoughts were that it's not going to change anytime soon, and we need to get some just to keep the hot water, because that's obviously what we use. Because the heating's virtually off now. It's quite nice, quite warm-ish. So yeah, be thankful that you're on gas and not heating oil, Andy.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we did have the wood burner going on Friday night. That was lovely. Oh, that's so nice.
Nice and toasty.
The boys love it as well when you like the wood burner. Draws them in from going outside. Where are we for time? Oh, there we go. There's my little clock. Oh, there we go. Right, got that ready. Another guest dial on at the pub this week, so I shall go down Saturday and test it.
What is said ill?
I don't know. They just flag up on the social medias, so I'll go down and see what it is. I'll let you know.
Very kind of you.
It's expensive beer.
No, it's cheap where you are, isn't it?
I know, it is dirt cheap. Bless them. Yeah, it's good. We may have expensive fuel for your car, but the fuel for your soul, alcohol soul, is cheap. Do you know, I had a Guinness last weekend out when we were out, but it wasn't a draft Guinness. It was from a blooming awful tap. You know, the taps they have on the tea bars. I'm guessing it's from a keg, but it tasted awful. It's absolutely awful compared to the ones they do from the proper, like, you know, fancy machines.
Oh, it's the same stuff, though.
No, it didn't.
Must have just been not kept right.
I think I don't think it was kept very well. It definitely didn't taste like the draft cans that I got here at home, anyway. Well, the clock's
Are you going to
running.
start the clock or what?
Yeah, it started.
Oh.
Here we go.
I can't see anything.
Can you?
9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
I can't see anything.
Can you? Well, hello and welcome to episode number 594 of the Plain Talking UK podcast. I'm Carlos, and in this week's show, it's VR flying, Air India send the wrong aircraft, and one airline sends some of their fleet on holiday to Spain. In the military news this week, we're off to Japan, and Armando brings us another great update as well. And he's not with us this week. Unfortunately, Nev is off, having a trip somewhere. He's probably having a few beers or a curry, no doubt, knowing Nev. Nick's not with us this week, but back with us in the pub studio. It is, of course, our resident captain of the Airbus A320 and sim captain. It is, of course, Captain Andy. Hello, Andy.
Hello. Nice to be back 2 weeks in a row. This is a rare thing, isn't it?
I know. It's the money we pay you, I think, is what it is, isn't it?
The what? Sorry, the money? Tell you, we've got about 6 years of invoices that are outstanding, mate. I'm going to small claims court before long. Actually, not so small claims court.
Where there's blame, there's a claim.
Yes.
Saying it. Yeah. So
very true.
How are things for you, Andy?
Very good, thanks. Yes, busy at work. Just completed writing the next training cycle, so that's all been released, which is good. Now moving on to other bits and pieces. Then next week I am flying and I'm instructing, so I won't be on next week. I'm very busy. But yes, all is ticking along nicely, thanks.
Excellent. It's been a very busy week this week in aviation, isn't it, Andy? Across the globe. Very, very busy week. But hopefully joining us as well this week across in a remote studio, and by remote I mean in the back end of nowhere, but it's a very nice part of East Anglia. It should hopefully, all being well, be Matt Smith. No? He's not there. Excellent. That's how we like to start things here on the show. He's disappeared. Well, hopefully he'll be back soon. Andy, help.
He's currently tending to the dogs, I believe.
Yes, he's tending to the dog. Well, Matt Smith is here. He's tending to the dogs. He let the dogs out, but he's got to get the dogs in. So yeah. But we have got loads to get through on the show tonight, including our Retro Airline ad of the week. 2 adverts this week from the 1980s back to back. Which is going to be good. But Andy, would you like to introduce the first part of the show, please?
Yes, it's the commercial aviation segment.
So it's a news that has dominated all the news feeds and social medias this week. It is, of course, the sad news came to us from New York's LaGuardia Airport. This is from the bbc.co.uk. And 2 pilots sadly died after an Air Canada aircraft carrying dozens of people collided with a firefighting vehicle responding to a separate incident at New York's LaGuardia Airport. 41 people were taken to hospital. Port Authority Executive Director Catherine Garcia confirmed 32 of them were later discharged, but others had serious injuries, she said. LaGuardia's airport remained closed until at least 2 p.m. local time on Monday, Garcia said, and New York's mayor, or city mayor, Zoran Mamdani, hope I pronounced that correctly, described it as a tragic collision and said the National Transportation Safety Board was investigating Sunday's incident. He said, "I'm grateful to our first responders whose swift actions saved lives," he said. At around 23:40 local time on Sunday, shortly after Air Canada Flight 8646 had landed from Montreal, it collided with a firefighting vehicle, as we know, on the tarmac. The fire engine from the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey was responding to a United Airlines aircraft that had reported an issue with odour, Garcia said during the news briefing. Video footage on social media showed the aircraft, which is operated by Air Canada's regional partner Jazz Aviation, coming to a rest with its nose upturned. In audio from the air traffic control tower at LaGuardia, a staff member can be heard saying, "Truck 1, stop, stop, stop," in the seconds before the crash. The aircraft, a CRJ 900 model carrying 72 passengers and 4 crew members, suffered significant damage. All on board the aircraft have been accounted for, Garcia said, while adding that the sergeant and police officer who were inside the firefighting vehicle were in a stable condition in hospital with no life-threatening injuries. Hundreds of flights were affected, with carriers including American Airlines, Delta Airlines, Southwest and United Airlines and Air Canada. And as of 8 a.m. local time, Terminal B, from where Air Canada operates, the board showed every departing flight for Monday, bar one, had been cancelled. Earlier, LaGuardia Airport authorities released a statement stating that the emergency response protocols were immediately activated after the crash, with the agency's chairman and executive director on the scene with Port Authority Police. Now, I can say that for those of you who follow the NTSB, the National Transportation Safety Board, on YouTube, I know I do, they've released 2 separate videos on their YouTube channel in regards to this incident, and I've watched both of those today, and they kind of go through the preliminary findings, but I think they've still got quite the investigation to go, Andy, on this.
Yes, and that story must have been lifted from the BBC quite early on, because sadly it doesn't mention the fact that the 2 pilots sadly died in the incident. Yeah, it's an absolutely horrible situation for the controllers to be in. I certainly don't blame the controllers. Nobody goes to work to, especially in aviation, we're all mission orientated. We're there to do the job and do the best we can. Nobody goes to work to be negligent, but something has broken down massively in the system here. I've heard the audio, which I'm sure we all have, where it started out. This is where we always talk about the Swiss cheese, and you need all the holes to line up for something bad to happen. Well, the first line is the United aircraft declare an emergency, so that takes a lot of capacity to deal with that. Then, with the weird system they have in the States where the ramp is not controlled by air traffic control, so they're trying to find a stand for them. All the capacity is getting sucked up. Then they want to get stairs over, so they're getting the fire trucks. There was quite a few fire trucks. The controller had already cleared the Jazz aircraft to land, and then cleared the fire crew to cross the runway. The weather, it was nighttime, it was misty, visibility will be very difficult. I'm sure that the fire crews checked before they went across the runway, but it's New York, there's lights everywhere, and aircraft's lights could just disappear into the ether and background. And sadly, all the holes lined up, and by the time they realised, it was just too late. And it's a really tragic event. And this is not the first incident in LaGuardia in recent times. There was a very close call recently where 2 aircraft were on the crossing runways and nearly hit as well. So this investigation is going to have to go quite deep into systematically looking at how this airport operates. It's a very small airport, heavily congested.
You know, you listen to these live ATC recordings, Andy, and, you know, obviously you can't listen to ones in the UK because they're not broadcast like they are in the US. But having an air band, civil aviation band receiver many years ago, you could listen to like Heathrow and Gatwick and Stansted and Luton talking to aircraft, and everything was very, not slow, but it was quite pronounced and spoken reasonably, slowly. When you listen to these the ATC in the US, it just feels like everything is just done at about 760,000 miles an hour. Or is that just me?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. No, that's correct. In the UK, we have a very structured phraseology system for air traffic control. There's a document, CAP 413, which is the radio telephony manual that's by the CAA. And it's slow and it's deliberate in the speaking so that everything is clear and understood and structured in a way that everybody can understand. In America, I've noticed, listening to a lot of these ATC channels. The language used can be quite plain at times. And in my opinion, there needs to be a more standardized and better system used around the world. So we standardize everything else via ICAO. We really need to standardize air traffic control as well.
How big a part, Andy, is, when you're doing the sim train, how big a part is the ATC or the radio calls part of, is that a part of the syllabus for when you're training pilots in the sim?
Yes, to a degree, but unfortunately we don't have the ability to add like background chatter in and other aircraft. It comes down to the instructor. The instructor has to be an instructor, air traffic control, ground crew, cabin crew, company. They have to be everybody outside of the flight deck, and at times you cannot make realistic air traffic control in the sim. It's just not possible at the moment, unfortunately.
Do you think
because communication as well when it comes? And when it comes to flying, it's FNC or ANC, depending on which manufacturer your aircraft you use. So aviate, navigate, communicate. Communicate comes last. The most important thing is to fly the airplane and make sure.
I mean, somebody's going to have to be ultimately held responsible, because that's the way the world works these ways, isn't it? But it's just like, the pilots don't stand a chance, because they're, forgive me if I'm wrong in saying this, but obviously their nose is going to be up in the air because they're coming into land. And usually I believe the object of the exercise is for the back wheels to hit first.
Normally, yeah.
in an ideal world. As you say, it's a busy airport. There's going to be lots of things going on, like within the airfield and stuff as well. If you're in a big old fire truck, your visibility is not necessarily fantastic, so the chances of seeing something coming down, like from above you, if you see what I mean, is almost going to be non-existent. It's just such a tragic incident, isn't it?
Once those wheels were on the ground and the reversers were selected, their fate was sealed, really.
Yeah.
You can't go around. You don't have the energy for that. From the video footage, they clearly spotted it very late as they tried to yaw to the right to get away from it. But yeah, just their fate was sealed, sadly. Much like the UPS crash, there was nothing they could do there. It's very tragic. But hopefully, as with everything in aviation when it comes to accidents, we just want to learn from it and try and ensure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is going to be quite the investigation, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether the NTSB have released another video on their site today. I haven't checked, but
no, it's just the two.
Just the two, yeah. But if you've not seen them, they are up to watch. You can watch both. I think they're about 25, 30 minutes long, but they are quite interesting. Obviously, puts a bit more of a focus on the job that the NTSB do in situations like this. So, yeah, well worth a watch. Right, moving on. Actually,
you stole my story there,
I stole
Carlos.
your story, yeah. You can tell you what, you can have the next one.
I'll do the next one. So the next one's from flyer.co.uk, and it's Loganair shows how electric Beta delivers across highlands and islands. Scotland's airline Loganair has given a real-world demonstration of how an electric aircraft can transform aviation. Loganair, Royal Mail and US company Beta Technologies officially kicked off the UK's first real-world electric flight demonstration series today, on the 20th of March. It features the Beta Alia CTOL, so conventional takeoff and landing aircraft. The first official demonstration flight successfully connected Glasgow and Dundee, marking a landmark day for European aviation. Royal Mail, which serves all 32 million UK addresses, relies heavily on Loganair's regional network to reach the most remote communities in the Highlands and Islands. As part of its strategy to reach net zero by 2040, Royal Mail Giant is now exploring how electric aviation can replace essential domestic flights. This is a real tangible programme of flying across our network, which will provide invaluable data on how an electric aircraft could perform in a real commercial environment, said Luke Farajala, I hope that's right, CEO of Loganair. The Alia Ceetol is an all-electric aircraft specifically designed for regional cargo and passenger operations. Its specifications make it a natural fit for Loganair's frequent short-hop routes. It has a payload capacity of up to 560 kilograms, a demonstrated range of 336 nautical miles, and its charging time is only 20 to 40 minutes using Beta's fast charge system. And the aircraft can operate from existing runways and requires no new airport infrastructure. The demonstration series isn't limited to a single route either. Over the coming weeks, the aircraft will carry representative letters and parcels across several key Scottish hubs to see how the technology integrates into the existing logistics network. The planned routes include Glasgow to Dundee, which has already been completed. Then I'm guessing it's Glasgow, Aberdeen, Inverness, Wick and Orkney. According to Beta Technologies, Scotland's unique geography with short distances between islands and mainland communities make it one of the most compelling environments for validating electric aviation. I think we might have actually found a use for electric aircraft.
It doesn't. It actually looks. It looks all right. You know, we've obviously talked about electric aircraft on the show a million times, and that, you know, you get
the paint job's great.
Yeah, you get these computer generated versions, but this is an actual flying aircraft that's actually flown. Yeah, it does look quite good.
I think it's brilliant.
And
it's awesome if they can make this work for this sort of specific market. The sooner you get this into full service, you can develop it far quicker then and make more changes, and then we might actually see this becoming really useful.
Yeah, Richard Adams in the chat room says, reminds me of a Sky van. It does look like a Sky van, like a mini Sky van.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
It does look very good. Darren Smith says in the chat room, there's a push bike inside there and a man pedaling like mad.
Oh, do you get a little black and white cat to sit on the other seat as well?
Hey,
like Postman Pat.
Love that.
Oh dear, excellent. No, let's hope it works. Let's hope it does work. It'd be good to, especially on these little short hops up north where they have to go to these little tiny islands and that with small kind of airstrips. It's an awesome way of getting supplies out to people. So yeah, good to see.
It's really good if you do a few hops between 5 or 6 islands, say, then you recharge for half an hour and you can hop back. That's really good.
Yeah. Mr. Smith, if you would like to take the next one, it's VR training.
It is indeed. The source on this one is afm.aero, and the headline is UK Aviation training technology developer secures regulatory approval for VR-based pilot walk-around trainer. Oh, this is interesting. Cineon, a UK-based aviation training technology company headquartered at Exeter Science Park, has secured approval for the UK Civil Aviation Authority, from the UK Civil Aviation Authority, for its tacit walk around as an other training device, OTD, marking the first time a virtual reality based device has received CAA approval for pilot training. The TACIT, which stands for Training Aircrew Competencies Using Eye Tracking, that's the acronym for TACIT. So this walk-around system creates a repeatable, high-fidelity virtual environment for pre-flight inspection training, resolving the operational constraints of traditional walk-around training, including aircraft availability, weather dependency, and the inability to safely replicate airside defects and hazards. The system uses integrated eye tracking technology to objectively assess where trainees are looking during an inspection, in measuring scanning efficiency, situational awareness, visual attention, inspection time, and hazard detection, providing quantifiable competency data in support of the industry's transition to competency-based training and assessment. At the core of the platform is Cineon's empathetic learning engine, ELE, described as an emotion AI API trained on millions of humans' interactions, which interprets behavioral and eye tracking data to generate adaptive, evidence-based feedback. The tacit walkaround is compatible with multiple aircraft types, including the Boeing 737-800 and the Airbus A321-neo, and is positioned as a scalable solution across airline fleets as an alternative means of regulatory sign-off. Jet2, one of the UK's leading leisure airlines, is the launch airline customer, having installed 6 Vive Focus Vision headsets across its Manchester and Bradford crew training centres, becoming the first airline to deploy the CAA-approved solution operationally. The tacit platform extends across Cineon's aviation and defence portfolio, with the flight training module already deployed in both civil and military pilot training environments. Now, this does sound very, very cool, very, very interesting. It is very techy, but I mean, Andy, obviously, I mean, you're used to like dealing with simulations and stuff. I mean, this seems like a useful tool as part of that.
This is awesome. So, as part of line training, once you get to an airline, you have to be checked out on the walkaround. It's one of the requirements we do before every flight, the air check, where we go around and check every part of the airframe that we can see for any damage or anything that's unusual. And it's very difficult to point out things that are wrong when they aren't wrong on the airframe. And the whole point of this walkaround is that we need to be able to spot things that are wrong, and we can get rectified. So this software and these devices are fantastic because as trainers, we can input defects and see if the trainees actually pick up on it. And we can use the eye tracking and everything else. I think it's fantastic. It's the way forward. And you can sit inside in a warm room and do it in the middle of winter, where normally you'd be walking around an aircraft in a big court, desperately trying to get it done as quick as possible to get back inside in the warmth. But so, I think this is the future.
Yeah, exactly, Andy. And I think for me that the thing that's so good about this is, in an ideal world, every aircraft that is presented to you in preparation for a flight is presumably operationally ready, if you see what I mean. So you'd like to think there is nothing to pick up, if you like, as part of your walk around, as where in this scenario you can, like you do in the simulator, you can throw certain situations and scenarios at the candidate and see if they notice.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you get an aircraft as well, normally it's ready, but sometimes you can go out and do a flight, land somewhere, go out and do the walk around and find that you've hit a bird on part of the wing, which is part of the check. But yeah, you will be able to design so many scenarios to use in this. And because it's competency-based training as well, we can design scenarios for specific competencies involved in doing this walk-around. So yeah, it's so flexible. It's expandable as well, what we'll be able to do with it. I think it's fantastic.
So another job for you, Andy, now to obviously you do the scenarios and the sims for actual flying. So now,
I bet you'd love to get your hands on it.
Now you've got to do scenarios for walkrounds.
Well, yes, and funny enough, the airline I work for, we are developing something similar to this with another company as well. So it is something we're getting stuck into, and we want to expand it further as well.
So cool.
Yeah, it is cool. It's so cool. Yeah. It really is.
Right, Andy, we're off to sunny Spain.
Yes, and this one is from the FT of all publications, and it's Qatar Airways has sent 20 of its largest aircraft to a site used for long-term storage in a sign the airline is preparing for months of disruption across the Gulf. The carrier has been transferring aircraft to Teruel Airport in Spain, which specialises in heavy maintenance and long-term storage, in the past week. It sent 5 more aircraft on Sunday, in addition to the 15 already at the site, according to data from Flight Radar 24. Many are A380, A350 and Boeing 787 aircraft, among the largest in its fleet, which typically carry passengers to its Doha hub to transfer to onward flights. The airline has been running a limited service, with much of its airspace affected by the conflict in Iran, which is now entering its 4th week. It said the decision to move some of the aircraft out of the Gulf was a temporary move until the airspace was fully reopened. Due to the current situation in the region and the resulting disruption to flight operations, Qatar Airways has positioned some of its aircraft at selected airports outside Qatar, the airline told the FT. This is a temporary measure, and the aircraft will be progressively returned to service as flight operations are restored to normal levels. levels. Qatar Airways is currently operating less than a quarter of its normal services, making it the most affected of the major regional airlines. While regional carriers Emirates and Etihad have resumed some scheduled flights from their bases in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, Qatar's efforts to restart have been held back by the closure of its airspace. Qatar Airways told the FT it would resume operations once the Qatar Civil Aviation Authority announces the safe, full reopening of Qatari airspace. Alejandro Ibrahim, General Manager of Teruel Airport, said the site has seen increased activity since the conflict began. We're getting more customers arriving with their aircraft, he told a local television station last week. Airlines were downsizing their fleets, revising their routes and trying to keep their aircraft in safer locations such as Europe. Teruel Airport is used by the industry to store aircraft for extended periods during times of crisis, such as the COVID-19 pandemic. It offered several services, said John Strickland, an aviation analyst, including temporary storage where engine intakes were covered and deep storage for longer periods when windows were also covered to prevent onboard electrical systems from overheating. It's a great place to store aircraft knowing they are not going to degrade, and at least in terms of humidity, he said. Because of the age of the Qatar Airways fleet, it's unlikely the aircraft will be undergoing heavy maintenance at the site, he added. The number of planes sent to Teruel does suggest it could be potentially for longer storage, with Qatar also taking an opportunity to move key assets away from the risk of damage. Well, we saw this airport, or this airfield, used heavily during the pandemic. British Airways sent a lot of aircraft there, as well as lots of other airlines. They also had, British Airways, I believe they had the 747 fire when they had one parked here during the pandemic as well. But I think it's a wise move by Qatar, to be honest. If your airfield where you keep most of your aircraft normally is in the firing line from Iran, it's probably a good idea to move as many out as you can to keep them safe until Qatari airspace is safe again.
Yeah, I wonder if Emirates will do the same thing, Andy, with their huge fleet.
Be interesting to see, because Emirates are a little bit further away, whereas Qatar is right in the firing line. But yeah, it'd be interesting.
Yeah, it's also great if you're an aircraft spotter, or I wonder how accessible the site is there. It's
in the middle of nowhere.
Probably not then.
I mean, you can get there by car. It'll take you quite some time, or flying in a light aircraft or something.
I was going to say, get a local taxi driver to take you out there. That would make for an interesting day.
Just hire a car.
Yeah.
Be cheaper.
Right. Where are we going to now? Let's go to me with this next one. Air India. This is on aerotime.aero. Air India. I can't get this. This is weird, this story, because I saw this earlier on in the week. Air India sends wrong Boeing 777 to Canada, forcing flight back to Delhi. So Air India sent a Vancouver-bound flight back to Delhi after departing with what Indian media described as the wrong 777 variant for entry into Canada, forcing a costly mid-route U-turn after several hours in the air. The airline confirmed that flight AI 185 returned to Delhi on March the 19th this year due to an operational issue, and said the aircraft landed safely. According to multiple Indian outlets, the aircraft operating as flight AI 185 was a Boeing 777-200 LR, while Air India approval for service into Canada covers its Boeing 300 ER fleet and not the LR variant. The mistake was reportedly discovered only after the aircraft had flown for more than 4 hours and reached Chinese airspace near Kunming. Times of India reported that the aircraft departed Delhi at 11:34 local time, landed back in the Indian capital at 19 minutes past 7 in the evening, after nearly 9 hours of total flying time. Air India did not publicly confirm the widely reported explanation in its statement. Instead, the spokesperson said that only that the air flight AI 185 operating from Delhi to Vancouver returned to Delhi due to an operational issue. The airline said the aircraft landed safely, passengers and crew were disembarked, and ground teams provided assistance, including hotel accommodation, while efforts were made to send passengers onward to Vancouver as quickly as possible. International operating permissions can be tied to not just an airline but also to a specific aircraft type. fleets or even individual tail numbers, depending on the destination country's regulatory process. In this case, the reported problem appears to have been with the aircraft assignment error involving the two different Boeing 777 variants. I've never heard of this before, Andy. I'm guessing you probably have.
Well, a lot of routes, especially long-haul routes, have aircraft that are assigned to them and approved to operate into certain countries. I'm not sure in this case if it's due to maintenance issues, like when Pakistan was allowed to operate into Europe. I mean, it's currently blacklisted still, I believe, from EASA. It was on a specific set of airframes and registrations. So this could be the same thing, and somewhere in the system it's got mixed up and they've just sent this aircraft completely by, well, it must be complete by mistake, unless they were really just trying to chance it to get in there. But I believe it was the Chinese air traffic controllers that pointed out to the Air India pilots that, this aircraft's not approved for entry into Canadian airspace. So yeah, it's weird that it's happened. There should be some form of barrier to stop this sort of thing happening.
Guess that's not a problem you have with your airline, Andy.
No, it's all the same aeroplanes, thankfully. Or just one family. Nice and easy.
Nice and easy, exactly. Yeah, interesting story, that. Slightly weird. Wasn't expecting that. But Air India seem to have been in the news a lot this year. Or is it just me? I think they've been in the news quite a lot this year.
I think it's been over a number of years, hasn't it? Because Air India, I think, weren't they involved in one of the Boeing
the Dreamliner
things when all that sort of happened and stuff. So yeah, I don't think it's narrowed down to just this year is essentially where I'm going with that.
Right, sticking with you, Matt, and this is hopefully not going to impact anyone's holidays this year. It better not do anyway.
Well, I think you could almost guarantee that it'll certainly happen to you or me, Carlos, because that seems to be the way these things happen. Anyway, mirror.co.uk is the source for this one, and the headline is Airlines Making Plans for Jet Fuel Shortages, including possible cancellations. So airlines are drawing up emergency plans to cope with jet fuel shortages, according to reports. Industry chiefs fear a hit to stocks could begin to be felt within a matter of weeks as the Middle East conflict threatens the flow of supplies. The price of jet fuel has already doubled since the US and Israel launched missile attacks on Iran at the end of March. The surge, if it continues, risks higher fares for passengers. Airline chiefs also complain that they are unsure about the availability of jet fuel supplies beyond next month. It comes as many families prepare for the looming Easter getaway, although the bigger impact could come in the summer unless the war has been resolved. Some countries, including the UK and elsewhere in Europe, are believed to have sufficient stocks of jet fuel for now. The bigger issue is for long-haul carriers when travelling elsewhere, and nervousness about having to refuel for the return leg. Ben Smith, chief executive of Air France KLM, said that we're putting in plans today to draw up scenarios on how we would deal with a shortage of fuel. The hit to supplies could be felt more in some areas of the world than others, however. Mr. Smith told, not me, told the Financial Times, Southeast Asia is much more dependent on fuel coming over the Gulf than Europe is. We can get fuel out of Europe, but when we go to a Southeast Asian city, we're not going to be able to fly the plane back. If there's no fuel, you can't fly. Kenton Jarvis, who's the boss of budget airline EasyJet, said that suppliers had assured it of fuel deliveries for the next 3 weeks, but no one's telling us we have no immediate issues in 6 weeks, because they're not prepared to say that, Mr. Jarvis added. Willie Walsh, the Director General of International Air Transport Association and former boss of British Airways, warned this is a bigger supply issue than we've seen before. A hit to supplies could result in airlines reducing their number of flights, with a knock-on to passengers from availability and potentially higher prices. Yes.
No.
A lot of airlines are currently looking at their schedule schedules from April onwards and starting to chop out routes that are not performing.
But yeah.
Oh.
Because there's no point in risking it. Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose the other side of things, I suppose if you're lucky enough that you've got a flight where it's returning to where, so like if it's a UK based flight and it's going out to, somewhere in Europe and then coming back, then you think, because the situation where you are at the moment. But I mean, realistically, how much information is going to be reliable, if you like, as you say, with the long haul people where you've got to go out to, let's say Australia, for example. I mean, what's the, how, are you going to potentially run into problems not having enough to get home?
Yeah. And you can tanker fuel, which is carry as much as you can so that you don't need to pick up as much down route. There's always a cost with that because it makes the aircraft heavier, so there's more drag and you burn more fuel than you would have normally. It's all got to be balanced up. But yeah, Southeast Asia, as it says in the story, is heavily reliant on fuel from the Gulf. I believe we're in Europe and America, it's topped out at $100 a barrel. Down in Asia, you're looking at $200 a barrel at the moment.
Oh, wow.
That's how much they rely on it. So yeah, unless this gets resolved pronto, it's going to start dragging into the summer and start making things very interesting and difficult. As long as it doesn't drag us back into the same position we're in during COVID, really. People will start to get nervous about travelling, and then we have to start thinking about jobs then as well. Yeah. So let's hope it doesn't get to that point.
Yeah, Darren Smith says in the chat room that the Logan Air electric plane could become very popular when that fuel runs out.
Yes, it'd take quite a few hops to get down to Alicante, stopping off to charge up every time and only taking around 10 passengers. But, it could be an option.
Oh dear! Need that huge solar plane that flew a few years ago. Do you remember that one, Andy?
Yeah.
It had the 6 million solar panels all the way along the wing. Yeah. Well, as long as I can make it to Malta in June, I'll be happy.
Oh yeah, I mean, as long as you're all right, Carlos. I mean, screw everyone else, eh?
Hey, where would I be without my usual Mecca to Malta each year?
True that. Yeah.
It's a lovely segue here into the next story, really. If you do manage to make it abroad this Easter, Spanish and French airports face hours of Easter delays due to post-Brexit checks. That old chestnut again. This one's from
I thought we were done with that.
UK. Unfortunately not, it appears. British holidaymakers could be hit by painful delays of several hours when heading to Europe this Easter, travel experts have warned. They may need to consider arriving at airports in the EU earlier than usual amid warnings that disruption caused by the new post-Brexit checks could continue over the May bank holidays and summer. Some people have faced queues of up to 2 hours at passport control in recent months because of the entry-exit system, the EES. Waits could be doubled to 4 hours by the summer, airline groups have said, pointing to critical IT and staffing issues with the new system. Tourists planning to use the port of Dover and Eurotunnel have also been warned of the potential for gridlock on the roads as they head to France. The biometric system, which requires non-EU visitors to provide fingerprints, have their passports scanned and their photos taken, began being gradually rolled out in October. The process, which replaces the simple stamping of passports, has been fully implemented on the 10th of April. Though it comes at the end of England's Easter school holidays, travel experts say families still face potential disruption in early July due to rollout problems. Passport control checkpoints at EU airports have suffered persistent waiting times of up to 2 hours in recent months due to the EES checks, according to the Airports Council International Europe. The organisation, which represents more than 600 airports, has warned that queues could stretch up to 4 hours or more by the summer unless critical problems are fixed. British tourists have had to wait 2 hours to have passports checked at Lanzarote Airport in Spain recently, and travellers previously told the iPaper of horrific waits of 1 hour and 40 minutes at Malaga Airport. Is that really horrific? With arguments breaking out in the queues. Lisbon Airport in Portugal, where queues reportedly hit 6 hours, now that's horrific, was forced to suspend EES checks entirely for 3 months from December. ACI Europe said waiting times have increased to up to 3 hours at peak periods, adding that airports in France, Germany, Greece, Italy, Portugal and Spain have been especially impacted. The organisation said processing times had increased by up to 70% during the phased rollout so far. The European Commissioner said member states may suspend EES checks for up to 6 hours when congestion is bad up until September. Now, the thing is, nobody's saying what the problems with this system are. And I'm finding, back in October when this was introduced, I passed through De Gaulle Airport for work. It was a bit of a wait, but I did all the fingerprints, all the pictures, everything else. And then every single time I've gone to Amsterdam for work recently, I have stood for at least 40 minutes in a queue to have passport stamped. Why are they not using... Surely, if you're getting your fingerprints done, your picture and everything else, with a biometric scannable passport, we should be using the e-gates again. And that would, and then get to the other side of the e-gate, get your passport stamped. That's what happened in Barcelona when I was there recently. The whole system just seems to be completely discombobulated and not the same in every airport, when I think the whole point of this is it's meant to be a standardised system. Have you two experienced any of it recently?
Not.
I mean, I haven't flown for a long time, I have to say. Yeah, I mean, last couple of times I'm sort of trying. I think the last trip I did was to Ireland. And
yeah, you don't have that problem then.
No, but yeah, no, I've not really. I'm trying to think. When I came back from Dubai a couple of years ago, there were e-gates that I was using to get into and out of Dubai. I didn't have any trouble with those as well. My passport worked first go with that. There was no issues at all with that.
That's not the European system, is it?
No, it's not. Yeah. No, and I didn't have any trouble with that at all. But unfortunately, that's my only experience. Really, I haven't sort of travelled in Europe for a while. To be fair,
no, mine.
Interesting to see what happens to you, Carlos, in Malta.
I was going to say, I've only done Ireland a couple of times this year, and that's been absolutely fine. But that always
is. Because again, there's the agreement with the UK that you don't have to do that.
Have to do that. But we'll see what happens in June when I head back off out to Malta and see what the crack is then. But that, to be fair, in all the years I've been going out there, and it might be worse now, but last year was fine. But they are normally fairly swift to get you through passport control at Malta. There's times you've been to an airport and you've come up to passport control and there's 6 million gates but only one's open with one member of staff.
I've seen very frequently.
So often. It's a bit like the security lanes at Stansted Airport when you're going through. You've got so many different security lanes there, but there's only ever three. Every time I've been through Stansted this year, to Dublin, 3 of those lanes have been open at the busiest time when the first flights are going first thing in the morning. I don't get it. There's some interesting comments in the chat room. Jenny in Rome says, I don't know about post-Brexit checks, but some family members almost missed their return flight at Tenerife because of slow passage through customs. Jason Trussell says the last 25 years they are making it flying so difficult it's as if they don't want people travelling around the world. Yeah, very good. Richard Adams says, what are the odds that the system gets totally scrapped after the first big data breach? It was poorly designed by a committee, so almost certain to be vulnerable. Yeah.
It does seem poorly designed. If they can't implement it correctly first time round, then what's the point?
Yeah, Darren says as well, Stansted at 11 o'clock at night is also a nightmare. Yeah, I've not been late. My flights have always been early out of and into Stansted. But, obviously this year will be a real eye-opener for me because I'm flying out of Stansted and back into London Norwich Airport. So,
London Norwich?
I get to see how wonderful Norwich are during the whole, security thing when we land, so that'll be interesting. Right, let's move on to the next story. Matt, it's a tech one for you, and this is sort of a shout or nod at Nev. I know he's not here this week, but a certain airline he loves.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good old Starlink raising its head. We've had a few of these, certainly with some of the American carriers and things, where they've got Starlink on board. Now it's the turn, thanks to the story on traveltomorrow.com. Now it's the turn of British Airways, and they're becoming the first UK airline with Starlink onboard Wi-Fi. Announced last November, British Airways has now officially joined the growing league of Starlink-equipped airlines, bringing what is often described as the fastest connection in the sky to its passengers. The inaugural flight featuring the new system took place on the London-Houston, Texas route. The airline became the first UK carrier to introduce Starlink connectivity on a Boeing 787-8 aircraft on the 19th of March, marking a significant milestone in its digital upgrade strategy. Installation is already underway across the 787-8 fleet, with plans to roll out the system progressively across its entire fleet of more than 300 aircraft, both long-haul and short-haul aircraft, over the next 2 years, excluding BA City Flyer. Powered by a constellation of more than 10,000 low Earth orbit satellites, Starlink offers seamless, high-speed internet access at cruising altitude. The connection is strong enough not only for messaging, but also for streaming, gaming, remote working. Gaming? Who's going to be doing that on the aircraft? Seriously. Bring your Xbox with you, plug in. Remote working, shopping online, and even, if you're organised enough, ordering a pizza to be ready the moment you land. Developed and operated by SpaceX, Starlink relies on reusable rocket technology and expanding satellite networks to deliver low latency connectivity, a notable improvement over traditional in-flight Wi-Fi systems. Saluting a landmark moment, British Airways Chairman and Chief Executive Sean Doyle said that the airline was excited to be the first UK airline to bring this level of connectivity to our customers. We know that staying connected matters to people, whether they're travelling for work or heading off on holiday, and Starlink will give our customers fast, reliable Wi-Fi that transforms onboard experience, he added. Beyond passenger comfort, British Airways noted that the upgrade is also expected to enhance operational efficiency, improving communication between cabin crew, flight crews, and ground teams. The introduction of Starlink forms part of British Airways' wider £7 billion transformation programme, which includes upgrades ranging from redesigned lounges to new digital technologies and cabin improvements. This milestone is part of a wider investment in elevating every aspect of our customer journey as we continue to modernise our airline. Maybe you should look at the backroom systems first. Anyway, in a notable shift for passengers, this service will be offered free of charge access across all cabins. Until now, onboard Wi-Fi could cost between $4.99 and $21.99, depending on usage, with the free messaging typically reserved for loyalty program members. And I've had some reasonable experience with certainly the non-commercial version of Starlink. In the main, it's a really good system. It's relatively, it's certainly the speeds are there. I have to say I have had some significant issues with reliability and dropping out. I'm going to put my Park Radio hat on for a minute. One of our presenters has a Starlink system, and he streams his program into our servers using that. And it will usually, and it is very much aligned correctly because I've been and checked it myself, it will quite often drop the stream probably 2 to 3 times every program. So in terms of connectivity in flight, I mean, it's going to be good enough for a quick video call and all that kind of thing. But I mean, yeah, when we're saying it's fast enough for gaming and stuff, I would say it's fast enough. Whether it's reliable enough would be my only concern. And it depends on from the other element of this, where it's saying it'll give connectivity to crews. The crews on the plane connecting with the ground systems. It depends on how reliant their system is on a stable connection.
Laughing at the comment, Matt, in the chat room. Richard Adams says that you could order a pizza just before you land, and then it's stone cold by the time you've got through the additional Euro checks
Well,
I'll
there
be
is
the
that.
last one.
Yes.
Also,
There is that.
am I just being a miserable middle-aged man here? I don't want
Yes.
to hear people's TikToks, Instagrams.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear them video calling granny saying that they're on an aeroplane. I certainly don't want to hear the Netflix blasting out. Just use the in-flight entertainment. Put your headphones on. Don't ring anybody. Chill out. You don't need the internet on an aeroplane. It's a place of quiet and niceness. And please do not let flight crew be using this internet as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming they're referring to using it for operational purposes, if you like, as your communication, channel, if you like, and I dare say that would be a
Satcom.
protected. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I have concerns that, I mean, at the end of the day, if they're only being used, if it's only being used for entertainment and the odd video call, then if it drops out, it drops out. But as I say, my only nervousness would be if, and I don't understand enough about in-flight systems and communication links required with the ground that would use an internet connection, if you see what I mean, as to how critical they would be in the event of a dropout.
No, not on the aircraft, no.
I'm guessing, Andy, this is something that your particular airline will probably never, ever invest in having on the aircraft.
Certainly wouldn't give it away for free, that's for sure. That's not within our business model. The other thing, every time I get on a BA aircraft that has Wi-Fi fitted, it's not working. So how many times is this not going to work as well? And that's when people get... If you're charging people for it, they go, it's not working. Oh, never mind, I'm not going to pay for it. But if you're giving it as part of your ticket, essentially, people are going to start getting annoyed when this doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean... I think it'll work because I don't know. You see, because
no, I mean like the actual hardware not working on the aircraft.
I see. Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I suppose at the end of the day, although it's got a Starlink on the end of it, it's still got to essentially plug into the plane's router to provide. Because they ain't going to change that, are they? I mean, that's just it's going to be the same in infrastructure, if you like. They're just adding the method of connectivity has changed. Exactly. Interesting one. Definitely an interesting one.
Yeah, we've talked about this for years on the show, haven't we? Internet on board commercial airliners, and God, I remember.
I mean, I loved it coming back from. So I treated myself. I think it was $21.99 with American Airlines, and I was coming back from Charlotte. And I'll be honest with you, I'd had a lovely time, and so I was a bit blooming miserable, to be honest with you. And it was actually, I know this sounds bonkers, but it was actually really lovely. Carlos, I think you'll appreciate this in the fact that I was boarding a plane and John O'Abel was about to start his breakfast show. And to be able to listen to that when I was feeling a bit miserable on my way home, all the way home, and it didn't drop out once, I have to say, for that, like for the whole 3 hours that I listened to his program, it didn't drop out once. I mean, I was more excited about our system not letting me down as well, if I'm honest, but the fact that the onboard Wi-Fi with American Airlines, and I don't know, I assume they were using the Philips system, which is what I know BA have used in the past. I found it pretty reliable, to be honest with you. I had to pay the $21.99 for it, but yeah, that was just lovely to listen, to have a familiar face in my ears, listening, playing the music that I like and all that kind of thing as I was coming home, and it made what was otherwise a sad time a very nice time. See what I mean? So there are some advantages to it, but I guess me wanting to listen to the radio essentially, and my chosen radio is very different to these people who want to watch TikToks all day. And I was able to listen to the radio
with no headphones in.
Well, yeah, don't get me started on that one. I was definitely wearing headphones. Definitely.
Good. I'm glad you were.
Yeah.
That's very considerate for the passengers.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I didn't want them to have to, I didn't want them listening to what I was. It was for me, not for them. But anyway, but to be able to just, and then looking out of the window, and so I mean, because I'm listening to music, but I'm enjoying I'm enjoying looking out of the window and seeing all the clouds and all that kind of thing. It's I'll shut up now.
No, it's nice. It's nice, and listening to John O'Abel's breakfast show, it always makes you happy. As far as
it makes me smile every time, honestly.
But forget the social media side of things and the watching videos and all that kind of stuff. Andy, do you not think, Andy, that on the flight deck, as flight deck crew, that something like this is more beneficial to you guys up the front to do certain aspects of your job, or not?
Yeah, the connectivity is fantastic. You can get live weather updates on the EFB, live turbulence charts, live updates on the flight plan if they want to reroute us. Much quicker communication than via VHF ACARS systems. Oh yeah, operationally brilliant, really good.
Except you haven't got to pay for it, Andy, which is always a bonus.
Well, yes, yeah. Can't unfortunately get Netflix on the PFD or the nav display, sadly. But
That would be
There must be a
awesome.
HDMI port somewhere you could
there's plenty of serial ports all over the aircraft, but no HDMI.
rubbish. Yeah, Amazon will have one. Don't worry. There'll be a C-port converter to a HDMI.
Brilliant.
Darren Smith in the chat room says he used a Sky phone on Delta flight back in the 1990s to find a football score. He said that was an amazing moment for him. I mean, do you remember them ones? Is that the ones where they lift them off and then you put your credit card in the bottom?
Oh,
and
good
then-
Lord.
Yeah, that kind of.
Cost
thing.
a
Yeah,
fortune,
I can say, and how much did that cost you, Darren? Just out of curiosity.
He's still paying it off now.
Yeah, I bet he is. Yeah, absolutely.
Interest-free segments. Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly. The technology these days, it's incredible. Anyway, moving on. Next one, chroniclelive.co.uk. Good news if you live in the northern part of the UK, especially in Newcastle. Newcastle, the story is here based at. It's EasyJet opening a new base at Newcastle Airport, running 86 flights a week. The opening of the 3 aircraft base at Newcastle has created 140 direct jobs. That's always good. Pilots and cabin crew, with the airline operating 86 flights a week on 22 routes. The opening of an EasyJet base, which will see 3 aircraft stationed at Newcastle Airport, has been described as a vote of confidence for the North East. The budget carrier opened its new base officially on Monday this week, which will support 140 direct jobs for pilots, cabin crew, with 86 flights per week to 22 destinations. We just said that. There are 800,000 seats on offer for this summer, with 22 destinations, 14 of these which are new to EasyJet from Newcastle, and the airline's first flights to Antalya, Corfu, Dalaman, Enfida, is it?
Enfida.
Enfida, thank you, Andy. Faro, Lisbon, Malta, Nice, Prague, Rus, Rhodes, Rome.
Reus.
Thank you. Sharm el Sheikh and Tenerife. Can tell I've not been there before. Kenton Jarvis, CEO of EasyJet, said that he was incredibly proud to be operating the new base at Newcastle. He told Chronicle Live. He said, "We've seen a strong demand for Newcastle, and with the growing EasyJet holidays, we know that's fantastic opportunity to offer our holiday choices to the Northeast." He said, "So what we are doing is by basing 3 aircraft, we will be able to increase capacity by 85% on the levels we've had before, and more destinations through Europe and beyond." The new base opens against a backdrop of uncertainty for oil and fuel prices, as we were talking about earlier in the show, due to the ongoing crisis in the Middle East. Mr. Jarvis said that the airline was well hedged and had brought fuel in advance. Oh, there we go. But it encouraged families who were thinking of booking holidays to do so as soon as possible. So there we go. If you're living up in Newcastle, in the UK here, you have more choices of destinations and where to fly with EasyJet. Good news.
Yeah, some long routes in there as well. Sharm el Sheikh's quite the schlep from the northeast.
What's that, 4 hours, Andy?
Oh, no, that's 5.5 to 6 hours, depending
really?
on the weather.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah,
No, I didn't realise
it's a
that.
long old trek.
Wow. But the good thing news is, though, it's jobs. It's more piloting jobs.
Well, all the pilots have transferred from other bases.
So they have
There's-
to travel.
No, like they've moved there. There's I think there's a few new pilots there as well that have joined this airline. But yeah, no, you transfer base. So within companies, you can bid to move to other bases.
Actually, on that note, Andy, question for you. When you join the airline and get your job, your dream job, sitting in the right seat, do you get a choice of where you're going to be based, or is it the airline that says to you, you will be based at this airport, and you have no say in that matter?
Sometimes, depends who you're working for. If you're going for someone like British Airways, you've got very limited choice of where you're going to be based. But like the likes of Jet2, TUI, Ryanair, EasyJet, etc., they may offer you a choice, or they may just say, this is where we need you, that's where you're going. And that's part of the game. When I joined my airline, it was Luton or nothing, so I moved everything and myself to, well, not to Luton itself, I didn't live in Luton, but I was based there for 8 years.
Blimey. And did you enjoy it there, Andy?
I enjoyed living where I did. I lived in several places around the area. It was good fun, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Let's learn something new every day. Right, that is where we're going to bring the commercial news segment to a close this week. But going to hand things over, just for a change this week, because we are missing a Nev, as we know, over to Matt to introduce the next part of the show.
Yes, indeed. It's time for what is a lot of people's favourite part of the show. It is the retro airline ad of the week. And this week we head off back to the 1980s, where one lucky passenger gets a flight deck visit. And then it's time to slap on some red lipstick. This is just Carlos, by the way, and jump onto the brand new Airbus 300. Or is it the Love Bus?
Love at first flight on Philippine Airlines' new wide-bodied Airbus A300. Take a love bus soon to Manila. It's love at first flight on Philippine Airlines.
And there we go. The Love Bus, or the A300.
I don't know what to do with that one in particular. I mean, different time, wasn't it? Yeah, big splotch of lipstick on the side of your face.
Yeah.
Awkward.
I'm just looking in the chat room. Darren Smith says Philippine Airlines have named their A350s the Love Bus, apparently, these days.
Oh, they blimey. So forgive my naivety here. The A300, what? I presume, obviously, it was the first of the series.
Yes.
Yeah, the A300, Matt. You know that the obviously the Airbuses have the side sticks on the flight deck rather than a control yoke. The 300s, and correct me if I'm wrong, Andy. The 300s they had just a traditional yoke for control.
Ooh.
There's a conventional flight control system. Yes, fly-by-wire didn't come in until the A320, partly the A310 as well, which was another variant of the A300 afterwards. But the side stick didn't appear until the 320 family.
There we go. Yeah,
love that.
But I'm glad to see the young lad there doing exactly what I used to do back in the 80s. As soon as we got airborne,
what, make a nuisance of yourself?
Oh no, I was not making a nuisance of myself.
From that front, he's serious and making himself a nuisance.
Oh, your audio's a bit muffly there, Matt. I think your headset.
Sorry, I'll try that. Sorry.
There we go.
Yeah, sorry. I was going to say, to be fair, Andy, I don't think he's changed. So he's still making himself a nuisance on any aircraft, even at 40. Blah, blah, blah.
I'll have you know that
whatever.
The flight deck visits that I've had in late or these last few years have either been after we've landed, before we've taken off, or if we've been delayed, taken off, and I've asked to go up on the flight deck.
Yeah, for no other reason than because you can't. because of a certain incident that took place, in the States a number of years ago, Carlos. Where
if you managed a flight deck visit during flight, that's called hijacking. My friend.
Absolutely. That's a very different experience when you land, Carlos.
I miss those. I miss those. I think they were the best bit about flying, and it is why that I got into heavily into aircraft like I did, because I used to have the flight deck visits all the time. But I just think it's just such a missed opportunity nowadays with youngsters and stuff to get them into.
I do remember having one flight deck visit when we were in the air, and I was flying with, I think the company was Air 2000, and we were going to Greece. The Air 2000?
Yeah, Air 2000.
Yeah.
2000.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. And the only reason I remember it is because it had the silly headphone jack where it had two prongs on it, which melted my mind. Because I'd only ever come across the stereo jack prior to that. But yeah, I do remember going up to that. And the biggest takeaway for me from going up there was how peaceful it was. Because I suppose you're the furthest point away from the engines, essentially, as you could possibly get, especially the pointy bit. And, there was no wind noise or anything, if you like. It was all very well sealed and stuff like that. So, and it was nice and toasty in there as well. It was just, it was quite sort of magical to sort of see it. I suppose the only thing is, because it was nighttime when we did it, of course, you wouldn't see anything because it's essentially just black, but that's
my
cool.
favorite time to fly. Like you say, it's cozy, all the little twinkling lights, you've got everything turned down, got the heating turned up, nice bit of food on my tray table, because I get an actual table.
You do.
It's peace and quiet. I love that's my favorite time of flight. Favorite time of day to fly is at night. I love flying all night. It's lovely.
Really?
The world's quiet.
I was going to say, Andy, you're so young, incredibly young, that you probably never had the days when passengers would come up on the flight deck. Oh, you did?
Oh, sorry, as a pilot? No,
pilot, yeah.
No, absolutely not. And I wouldn't allow it, even if it was allowed now. If they brought it back in for whatever reason, it's just too risky, in my opinion, so no.
What about me?
Especially if it's you.
Still no, mate. Sorry.
Especially if it's you. I do not have time for all these questions.
I feel deeply upset now.
Yeah, whatever. You'll get over it, Carlos. You'll find another pilot to pick on. You'll be fine.
Let's not forget, I've seen you operate a 320 in the simulator, so please do not get in my operating seat.
Good point, well made.
I did not mean to touch the weather part of that sim when Neb was flying. That was...
that was funny. It was funny when he fiddled that, yes.
Oh, dear.
Lots of turbulence.
Oh, dear.
If there's one thing I could do, and that's watch someone do tech stuff and then follow through afterwards again using what I've learned.
Sounds like Nev did follow through from the sound of it.
We did, yeah.
I nearly did as well, I've got to be honest. Carlos, stop pressing buttons, please.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah. It's that pleased through the clenched teeth, particularly.
Yes.
Clenched
everything.
For those of you coming to the 600 show, we'll regale you of that story at the 600. It was quite the interesting time. Right, I'll leave you to introduce the next part of the show, Matt.
Yes, okay. That's right, just throw it at me, that's fine. Yeah, okay. Not really sure what to say about this. I think we just got the one story this week.
And a little video.
And a little video as well. Oh, of course. Yeah, okay. A little video. Are we doing the video first?
We'll do the story first, and we'll leave the video.
Let's do the story first. In which case, then, Carlos, it's Nev's favourite part of the show. Press the button.
What's up, Buggies? 13550, Angel 16. Heading 340. Okay. Undersea Buggies.
And the first story this week comes to us from, if it gets to scroll up, there we go, ft.com, another financial, ft1.com, blimey. Japan sounds alarm over UK's delays to combat aircraft project. Yeah, surprise, surprise, we're delaying again. Japan is growing increasingly doubtful about the UK's commitment to their joint fighter development programme with Italy, the crucial development work stalled by British budgetary foot-dragging. Surprise, surprise. The Global Combat Air Programme, or GCAP, which aims to put next-generation fighters in the skies by 2035, is a landmark effort by Japan and the UK and Italy to challenge US dominance in military technology. But a series of delays to the UK's defence investment plan is preventing the signing of a vital contract for design and development work with Edgewing, the commercial joint venture between the three nations' leading defence contractors. Frankly speaking, they said, it's a terrible situation, said one person involved in GCAP, referring to the hold-up of project work caused by the UK. A second person involved acknowledged there was a sense of growing frustration on the part of Japan. In addition to funding questions, two people familiar with the matter also suggested the two capitals had different priorities for the programme. Tokyo's main aim is to produce a new fighter by the mid-2030s, whereas London and Rome are more interested in GCAP producing a cutting-edge system of systems, a jet that operates in concert with a swarm of drones over less rigid timetables, one of the people said. One of them added that this could leave the UK tempted to try and slow the timetable to make it more affordable in the short term. Yeah, that's probably what we'll do. The friction between the two governments comes at a time when anxieties are rising about the global security because of the war in the Middle East and an unprecedented US under the Trump administration that has urged its NATO allies to do more to defend themselves. UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer is said to have tried to reassure even his counterparts Sane Takichi of Britain's commitment to the GCAP project during his visit to Japan this year. Kim Jong was intended to create a successor to the current generation of jets flown by the three nations, helping to reduce reliance on more advanced F-35 fighters supplied by the US, which are a mainstay for NATO air forces. So once again, the good old UK slowing things down because we're worried about spending a few quid, or a few million quid to be fair. And I'm pleased to say that joining us via the interwebs, I think he's joining us for the last his favourite bit of the show. Hello, Nev.
Oh, if only I'd known, I would have stayed off for a bit longer. Have I missed anything? Anything been happening at all?
Oh no, it's been a very quiet show, Nev, to be fair.
Okay. Excellent.
But no, we've just done that story. We have got a video story, Nev, this week sent to us from Armando. So, yeah. Would you like to introduce the video segment from Armando, Nev?
Oh, yes. And he's been doing a regular update for us on the situation in Iran, hasn't he? And this is the second one of his bit of a look about what's been going on from an operational point of view and what that means for the guys and girls involved.
Hey, team. U.S. and coalition air operations over Iran this past week are still holding a steady pace, but the airspace is getting more and more demanding. Strike volume remains high. In the last 24 hours, we're seeing continued pressure on both sides with ongoing strikes and continued Iranian missile and drone activity across the region. Over the last 7 days, strike activity has remained consistent with U.S. and coalition aircraft continuing to target the missile infrastructure and all of its supporting sites across Iran. Long-range bomber missions are still being flown, supported by a steady flow of tanker aircraft, bridging that U.S. into the Atlantic, into the Middle East. But that structure hasn't changed, but it is being worked hard. In the last 24 hours, there are continued reports of strikes against launch sites, storage areas, along with ongoing air defense activity inside of Iran. At the same time, Iran continues to launch missiles and drones across the region, keeping pressure on U.S. positions, all our military bases, our partner infrastructure. There's also a continued movement of personnel and equipment into the theater. Heavy airlift remains active, reinforcing that this is a sustained operation, not a short-term surge. So overall, the tempo is stable, but the environment remains active and increasingly contested. What stands out this week is that operations are no longer happening in a relatively clean environment like it was at the beginning of the conflict. There are clear signs that Iranian air defenses are still active and able to reach aircraft operating in and around target areas. We saw that earlier in the week with a US F-35 that had to divert after a combat mission with indications that it may have taken enemy fire. All of that is still, well, I don't know if we'll ever know the answer to that, but that does matter because it shows that even with a strong air power in place, aircraft are still operating inside of this threat envelope that requires constant attention from everybody. Over the last 24 hours, that picture hasn't ceased, hasn't eased. Continued air defense activity, ongoing strike operations suggest that crews are still flying inside of that same risk environment with no real reduction in pressure. This does change how missions are flown. Instead of focusing purely on timing and weapons delivery, crews now have to spend more time managing risk, watching the enemy picture, the battle space, staying flexible, adjusting in real time, which is things that we all train for years and years. At the same time, the support side of the operation is under pressure. Earlier in the campaign, there was a loss involving a tanker during refueling operations. That just continues to highlight how demanding these missions are, especially when you're running them continuously. Everything really goes back to timing. These strike packages depend on multiple aircraft hitting very specific points in space at very, very specific times, sometimes all the way across the world to a 30-second window. If anything slips, weather, spacing, communications, it absolutely starts to affect everything else. Now, add a more active threat environment and the margin for error gets even smaller. Again, something we train for. The aircraft may need to adjust routing, change timing, spend more time in general managing the situation than originally planned. All of that just kind of adds friction to the mission. And over time, that friction builds. The other factor playing in here is endurance. We're now several weeks into sustained operations. Crews are flying long missions repeatedly. Maintenance teams are keeping aircraft moving at an incredibly high pace. There is nothing in the news this week that suggests that the operation is slowing down anymore, but it does suggest that it's becoming more demanding to maintain. A few other points worth noting this week: aircraft carrier presence in the region remains slightly reduced compared to earlier in the campaign, with at least one major aircraft carrier operating outside of the immediate strike area after a long deployment. There are also continued signs that strike planning is being paced carefully and around certain infrastructure targets, suggesting the deliberate control over any potential escalation. In the last 24 hours, there are ongoing indications of continued infrastructure, nuclear sites damage across key sites, reinforcing that the campaign is focused on sustained pressure over time. Now, from a cockpit standpoint, this is where operations often start to feel a little bit different. Early on, everything is structured, everything is predictable. A few weeks in, the workload starts to shift a little bit. Air refueling becomes more than just a routine event. It's something that you need to get exactly right because everything depends on it. You need to manage fuel, you need to manage timing, position, while also keeping track of everything that's happening around you. But the battle space picture has changed since the forces planned on going in the initial attack. When the airspace stays active, like we've seen over the last 24 hours, from a crew standpoint, your attention gets spread out even more. You're not just flying the plan, you're constantly adjusting to stay inside of the plan, more or less. That's where the experience of our crews really matters. Looking ahead, key factor is still sustainability. Aircraft are there, the weapons are there. The question is whether the tanker support, the maintenance, the crew endurance can keep up with that pace. And that's what's going to shape the next phase of this campaign. For now, that's the air picture for this week. I'm Armando. Thanks for listening, and we will see how this all evolves and pick it up again next week. Hey, team. U.S. and coalition air operations over Iran this past week are still holding a steady pace, but the airspace is getting more and more demanding. Strike volume remains high. In the last 24 hours, we're seeing continued pressure on both sides with ongoing strikes and continued Iranian missile and drone activity across the region. Over the last 7 days, strike activity has remained consistent with U.S. and coalition aircraft continuing to target the missile infrastructure and all of its supporting sites across Iran. Long-range bomber missions are still being flown, supported by a steady flow of tanker aircraft, bridging that U.S. into the Atlantic, into the Middle East. But that structure hasn't changed, but it is being worked hard. In the last 24 hours, there are continued reports of strikes against launch sites, storage areas, along with ongoing air defense activity inside of Iran. At the same time, Iran continues to launch missiles and drones across the region, keeping pressure on U.S. positions, all our military bases, our partner infrastructure. There's also a continued movement of personnel and equipment into the theater. Heavy airlift remains active, reinforcing that this is a sustained operation, not a short-term surge. So overall, the tempo is stable, but the environment remains active and increasingly contested. What stands out this week is that operations are no longer happening in a relatively clean environment like it was at the beginning of the conflict. There are clear signs that Iranian air defenses are still active and able to reach aircraft operating in and around target areas. We saw that earlier in the week with a U.S. F-35 that had to divert after a combat mission with indications that it may have taken enemy fire. All of that is still, well, I don't know if we'll ever know the answer to that, but that does matter because it shows that even with a strong air power in place, aircraft are still operating inside of this threat envelope that requires constant attention from everybody. Over the last 24 hours, that picture hasn't ceased, hasn't eased. Continued air defense activity, ongoing strike operations suggest that crews are still flying inside of that same risk environment with no real reduction in pressure. This does change how missions are flown. Instead of focusing purely on timing and weapons delivery, crews now have to spend more time managing risk, watching the enemy picture, the battle space, staying flexible, adjusting in real time, which is things that we all train for years and years. At the same time, the support side of the operation is under pressure. Earlier in the campaign, there was a loss involving a tanker during refueling operations. That just continues to highlight how demanding these missions are, especially when you're running.
There we go, Nev. Just for you, we ran that
unbelievable. I'm away for just over an hour, and what happens? Dear.
And can I ask that we now do that again without referencing it? Because obviously I will now edit it. So if you just come straight out of it and I'll find the cut point and then just rejoin. So 2023 is my marker point. And just come out of it as you would normally, Carlos. Make sure the camera's switched to you.
Yep. Okay. And thank you, Armando, for your update this week. We're going to try and entice Armando to do one of these every week. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll try and entice Armando to do one of these each week. I know that Nev would very much appreciate it if Armando did the military segment every week. What do you say?
Yeah,
Nev?
definitely.
Absolutely. And no offence to Armando, but I sincerely hope that it won't be necessary for much more than another few weeks. To be fair, of course, because it's horrible what's happening. Let's be honest.
Absolutely. But we move on to happier things, and it is obviously our 600th show, which is fast approaching. 22nd of May this year. Nev, obviously you've joined us. Good to see you as always. Any updates on the 600th?
Yeah, we have a full house. No more space available, I don't think. So thank you very much to everyone that is booked to come. Friday the 22nd of May is the date. A couple of updates for you. We have got confirmed now one other speaker as well, which I'm delighted to announce that our listener, Derek Smith, known as Grinner, in the chat room, has kindly agreed to give us a presentation about his military and civil aviation career. He says it's a blast through the last 45 years, as he puts it. That's going to be really interesting. Together with Russell Marriott from the IWM, the aviation historian, who's an expert guide, Alan White will be telling us about his flying career as well as his varied work on the fixed-wing aircraft for the Irish Coast Guard. And also Armando is going to be giving us a talk about his time in the US military whilst based here in the UK, amongst other topics, I am sure. So really looking forward to those 4 chaps presenting at our event. Don't forget there'll be a quiz as well for those who are attending the event. And we'd like to thank John Falk very much indeed for offering to provide us with some excellent prizes. Also to Andy as well, who is kindly donating some prizes also. So we're just ordering the lanyards in the next week or so, and also the T-shirts as well. So you've all given us sizes that you are. I think we've just got 1 or 2 stragglers. I'll chase that up tomorrow because we're going to be giving you a 600th show T-shirt. No charge. We're paying for that. And you're very welcome to wear it with pride wherever you can.
Yeah. Yep, hopefully you're going to get those ordered very soon, and they'll be hot off the press, quite literally hot off the press. And as Nev said, they will be PTUK branded with the 600th show on there, so it'll be a bit of a keepsake. Will be quite nice, but in the sky blue. We're going for the sky blue again, Nev, as we have always done in the past.
Yep, nice, lovely.
Yeah. So, Nev, you've joined us. How are things? How are things in the Bounds household?
Yes, very good. Hectic. Been all over the place today. Garden centres, coffees, sausage baps. I've got to try and counteract this weight loss somehow. But no, it's been a busy week or so. Just putting some final touches to the 600th show details. Just liaising with the Imperial War Museum again. A couple of days this week. But no, all good. And very much looking forward to it as well, of course. So it'll be a good day out for everybody.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Absolutely looking forward to it. Right, so we're going to start to wrap up this week's show. But Nev, would you like to run through the socials where people can find more about us online?
Of course. If you are social media inclined, then it's Facebook, X, Instagram or LinkedIn. Just search those platforms for Plain Talking UK. You can email the show, podcast@plaintalkinguk.com, or you can WhatsApp us, +44 7446 975 214 for comments, your aviation pictures, whatever you like. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll get notifications when we go live, and you can help shape the conversation of the show by joining us in the chat room, as many people have done today. Just go to youtube.com and search for Plain Talking UK. Don't forget to press the subscribe and the like button as well. As you know, this show does not come completely free of charge, or at least for us. So we are very pleased to offer you the possibility of contributing to it. And a lot of people already do. And we're very, very grateful indeed, both on Patreon and by PayPal as well. Just go to our website, plaintalkinguk.com, and you'll see a button on the top right-hand side which says support us. If you feel you can assist us with any donations, we would be very grateful to receive them from you. All the details are on our website there.
Yes, thank you very much indeed, Nev, for that. So hopefully we'll be back again next week with the next show. But quick round robin of what everyone is up to, what the team is up to for the rest of the week and the weekend. So we'll start with you, Andy. Any exciting things going on with you?
I am very busy. So as I said, I'm not here next week because I'll be down in Gatwick. I am flying, I am instructing, I'm doing all of my job next week for once, which is nice. Rest of this week, working from home, and then got a gig on Saturday night that I'm playing with a few friends, which will be good fun. So yeah, keeping busy.
Excellent. And just for the benefit of the listeners who might not know, Andy, what is the instrument that you are playing?
I play everything. Piano, guitar, bass, ukulele, anything with strings on I can play it. Yeah, it's good fun.
Jack of all trades.
Master of none.
And Nev, how about you?
Yeah, fairly quietish week, although, of course, tomorrow is being Thursday. It's the Keep Fit day for the over 60s, where we go in feeling very fit and we leave not being able to move for about 2 days. Quite often, the lady that takes the class takes no prisoners, that's for sure. But it's for our own good, apparently. So that's.
I still can't genuinely believe that you're over 60, Nev. Seriously, it's still
very nice.
I can't get my head around it. I don't understand how that's happened.
Well, I'm halfway between 60 and 70 because I'm in my 65th year. So yes, in November.
Stop mucking about. Stop
I
it.
should be 65. So, but yeah, I'm surprised I made it this far. To be perfectly honest with you, and a lot of people have said that to me as well.
Well, we're very relieved you have, sir, and long may there be another 40 or 50 years to come.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Yeah, bit of keep it tomorrow, a bit of swimming, Thursday and Friday, and then it's the weekend again. So the week, I tell you what, when you're retired, you think that the week might drag a bit because you're so used to be so busy at work. Believe me, it doesn't. It goes just as quickly, if not more quickly, than when I was working full time. That's definitely the case.
You're only as old as the car you drive, Nev.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a very cleaned up version to the one I know, Carlos. Well done.
Oh dear. Anyway, how about you, Mr. Smith?
Well, next week I'm afraid I'm not here either.
Oh yes. Where are you going?
Well, I'm going to be in the Norwegian fjords next week.
Is that one of those adverts that I see on daytime TV?
Sure, why not? Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be lovely. Mum's taking me away this time, which is nice. She's taking me off to the Norwegian fjords. We've got one of these fancy little mini suite things on board. I'm very much looking forward to. We've got our own little conservatory that we can sit outside and watch the northern lights if they should appear. So a very special week that all starts on Sunday for me. So very much looking forward to that.
Oh, that'd be nice. I'll take it. You've got a hat and scarf. I was going to say, and a warm coat.
Yeah, well, no, we're in a conservatory, so we'll just sit outside and turn the heating up. That's how it works.
That fresh air, that lovely.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do that when I go for my morning walk around the deck. I think that'll be enough for me.
Are you if you're passing through Oslo, you could pop in and see Darren Smith, couldn't you?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, if the boat that is the size of what I can only describe as a floating city, I mean, our room is 5,321. So it's it's quite a scary I don't want to think about the legit, like the science behind how something like that floats. If it was possible, we would absolutely drop in for coffee. But perhaps come and see us on the shoreline or something. I don't know, but I have done a cruise once before. I did a Fred Olsen one. This is with P&O, and so it'll quite excited. The room. I'm looking forward to the room, and a couple of the nights of entertainment are with actual like people off the telly. So a couple of the nights entertainment are with people off the telly, which I'm sort of quite looking forward to. So it's going to be fun. I shall tell you all about it upon my return.
Darren Smith in the chat room says, Matt, Operation Cold Response is in progress, so keep an eye for fighter jets, he says.
Oh, goody.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I was kind of hoping going out that way that I could sort of forget that was happening, to be honest with you. I must admit, both me and Mum have been sat there terrified looking at our emails, waiting for you need to pay us more money because, we haven't got enough fuel or something. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, that's the only thing I've been a little bit nervous about is that the fuel to power the boat has gone through the roof.
But as Masha says in the chat room, Matt, it sounds lovely.
Yes, I hope so. Yeah, well, because it's for Carlos and I, it's a big year, isn't it, Carlos?
Oh, it is a big year this year.
It is a big year this year, and this is, and I fully plan on starting now until my actual birthday, filling this year with lots of things in the lead up to that. But yeah, should be good. Looking forward to it.
Excellent. and I will be just doing what I normally do on a weekend. Probably sleeping, falling asleep, sleeping. And if the forecast stays as it is, I should be lighting the wood burner on this weekend.
Well, yes, quite. Absolutely.
But yes, so that is where we are going to bring episode 594 to a close. Big thanks to all the awesome chat room tonight. Thanks to everyone in there, all the usual family members in there tonight joining us. Thank you very much indeed. Also, big thanks to everyone who downloads the shows and audio podcasts each week. Massive thanks to you as well. And don't forget to send us in an email. Say hello. Let us know what you're up to. That'd be nice. You could also leave us a review as well on the many places where you download the show from. So that's it for the show. As Nev is here now, I'm going to leave Nev to close the show for this week so I can press all the buttons. Take it away, Nev.
Very good. Well, yes, thanks everybody for joining tonight. Sorry I was a bit late on duty, but needs must, and hope everyone has a great rest of the week and the weekend. We'll be back at 7 o'clock on Wednesday of next week. Hope you have a great time. Bye for now.
Oh, Carlos, I'm very proud of you. Well done. Because you pressed all the right buttons. You even put the graphic up at the end. And
I know. I love the fact.
It warms the cockles, dear. It really does.
I love the fact that now you've taught me about pressing the solo button so I can actually talk to you guys when we're playing output videos, which is always handy.
And we will never, ever record those off-air chats.
No. That's not a good idea.
Yes,
so get us banned from YouTube.
Quite, absolutely.
Jason Trussell in the chat room has just pointed out that it is 58 days until the 600th.
Ooh.
Blimey. Nice.
Well,
nice.
Those 58 days. I didn't need reminding of that.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. In other news, by the way, the radio station is so terrified about me going on holiday that they've actually paid for the high-speed Wi-Fi for me to have on board. So the good news there is I'll be able to publish the show while I'm away. You'll be pleased to know. So I haven't got to panic show someone how to do it.
That's probably a godsend.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh. That's a good show tonight. Well done, everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, we did our best for you, Nev, in your absence.
Thanks,
That
fellas.
was very good. Yeah, we need now is a lovely hot sunny day for the 600th.
In May. Good luck.
Oh, it'll be all right.
Yes. Oh, a bit of extra news. I forgot to mention the Imperial War Museum have got a little minibus. I think it probably takes about 12 or 15 people because where the American hangar is relative to where we're going to be in the airside suite. That's quite a walk there and back, and you can burn up a lot of time. They've offered the facility of taking you up to the American hangar if you wish,
in their
back
little shuttle.
as well as the
that's
shuttle.
nice.
Yeah, that will save a lot of time because people have reached a 2-hour window in the morning between 10 and 12.
Oh, that's lovely.
So I will ask them about that when I speak to them next as well.
Oh,
But
that's
yes,
brilliant.
for that last time. So yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh, I should be very grateful of that, to be fair, because I do love to go and have a look around that museum, and I would struggle to do the walk at the moment. So
Yes.
And we
Love
do, we
that.
do have a few American listeners joining us for the show. So.
definitely, yeah, absolutely. They absolutely need to see that hangar because it is impressive stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, Richard Adamson's put in the chat room. He says it's a good 20-minute walk.
The thing is with Duxford, you look at things, you go, oh, it's not that far. I'll just walk up there now. And believe me, we have done it
Perceptive.
many times.
We have done it. We've done it so
The
many
distances
times.
involved are far greater than you actually believe they are.
Oh,
So,
God.
yeah.
A good bit of exercise, though, before an evening of heavy drinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good point. Well made. Excellent point. Well made. Yes.
Sorry, not heavy drinking, sociable
Standard
drinking.
drinking.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Indeed. Yeah. More libations, my Imperial Conqueror.
Maybe we can do the after hours show that we've always talked about doing. Oh,
No.
Oh,
No.
no. My word. We'd never be able to publish that. Never.
We could
be
do it
able
as a
to.
pub. Well, I'll tell you what you could do. We could do it to raise funds for charity or something. You know, where they have to pay for it.
Oh, my word.
podcast.
Yeah, do a
After
proper
hours show.
Radio X style podcast.
My word. No, it's going to be good. It's going to be a good night. Good night as well. Good evening as well we're going to have at the old restaurant. So looking forward to that. Right, we better say goodbye to these lovely listeners. Let me just get the right screen up there. There we go. Yeah, say good night to all the lovely listeners. So big thanks to everyone again for joining us tonight. Lovely to see you all in there. Have a great rest of the week, whatever you're up to, and enjoy your weekends, whatever you're up to in the UK or across the globe. Yeah, enjoy yourselves. Right, Nev, do you want to say goodbye to everyone?
Yes, thanks for joining us, folks, tonight. Very good fun, as always, even though I was just here for a short part of it. I'll be back for the full experience on the show next Wednesday, 7 p.m. UK time. In the meantime, take care of yourselves and bye for now.